Developers are actually abandoning Postman, not because Postman suddenly stopped working, not because somebody built a magical AI API tool. They're switching because a small open source app called Bruno is solving problems that have been annoying developers for years. So I tested both to answer the real question. Is Bruno genuinely better, or is this just another developer trend that'll disappear faster than the latest JavaScript framework? For years, Postman was basically the king of API testing. Need to test an endpoint? Postman. Need to organize requests? Postman. Need to accidentally create 47 duplicate workspaces and forget where anything is? Also Postman. The problem is that as Postman grew, many developers felt it became heavier, more complex, and increasingly focused on cloud-based workflows. That's where Bruno enters the conversation, looking suspiciously simple. And developers love simple. The first thing you notice is how different the philosophy feels. Postman wants to be an entire API platform. Testing, collaboration, monitoring, documentation, automation, cloud syncing, the whole package. Bruno just wants to help you work with APIs. That's it. And surprisingly, a lot of developers seem to prefer that approach. The biggest reason people are switching? Git. Bruno stores collections as plain text files directly on your computer. That means your API requests can live inside your project repository, be version controlled through Git, and reviewed like normal code. No special exports, no syncing gymnastics, no wondering which version of a collection is the real one. One developer on Reddit summed it up perfectly. Bruno feels like it was built by developers who actually use Git every day. Then there's the performance. Many users report Bruno launches faster, feels lighter, and consumes fewer resources than Postman. One Reddit user joked that Bruno opens before Postman finishes deciding whether it wants to open. Another said switching felt like removing 5 Chrome tabs from my workflow. But Postman isn't losing without a fight. When I looked through reviews and developer discussions, Postman still dominates in advanced collaboration features. Teams managing large APIs often appreciate the shared workspaces, monitoring tools, automated testing capabilities, documentation generation, and mature ecosystem. In other words, Bruno feels like a developer tool. Postman feels like a developer company. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Some developers on Reddit who tried Bruno eventually returned to Postman because their teams relied heavily on collaboration features, cloud syncing, and enterprise integrations. Others said Bruno was perfect for individual developers but harder to recommend in larger organizations. What's interesting is that the community conversation is surprisingly consistent. Bruno users rarely complain about the core product itself. Most praise the speed, local-first approach, Git integration, and open-source model. Meanwhile, Postman users tend to praise the broader ecosystem and team features. So here's the real answer. If you're an individual developer, freelancer, indie hacker, or someone who loves Git-centric workflows, Bruno is one of the most compelling API tools available today. It's fast, lightweight, open source, and refreshingly straightforward. But if you're working inside a large team that depends on shared workspaces, advanced collaboration, monitoring, and enterprise tooling, Postman still has a strong advantage. That's it. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe.